Still watching the Millennium Kwacha Breakfast Show right here on Millennium TV, channel 95 on your top star decoders. While stream live also on Facebook, it is Millennium TV Zambia, where we did have the newspaper headlines. I'll just go to read out some of the headlines on the front page and the back page of the tabloids we have in studio, and of course the e-print of the Times of Zambia. And we did have the pick on the news. We read out some of the news updates from a news bulletin. Now up next, this is in a stock market update with LuSE and Grace. Of course, she's in our midst. She's been absent. Grace, you've been absent for like how many weeks?
It's been a while, but we missed you.
We missed you and we're back.
Really missed you. Otherwise, how have you been doing?
Good. We've been good.
Everything has been okay.
Yeah. The exchange is doing well. I think everybody's investing.
Indeed.
Dividends last week.
Oh yeah.
And this week.
So people are happy that they have their monies. Those who invested, who bought shares.
If you know a shareholder, just call them at Shani. Hi.
All right. Well, Grace, just take us through how the market was performing last week, and maybe you can also just touch on maybe one or two on how the market has been performing, lately. So.
Okay, great. So for last week, the market closed a little bit lower. The All-Share Index declined by 1.81% to 25,984.81. This was down from 26,463.82 recorded in the previous week. But worry not, trading activity actually strengthened. The number of trades increased by 11.25%, and total volume traded actually increased by 165% to 4.97 million shares compared to 1.87 million shares the previous week. Market turnover also rose sharply by 164.5% to 41.26 million from 15.60 million kwacha recorded in the previous week. The increase in turnover and trading volumes reflects heightened investor activity, largely driven by sizable transactions in selected counters. So the shares that were really leading the pack was CEC. There was a market turnover of 28.49 million, and that accounted for 69.1% of total shares traded. Zambia Sugar also had a strong showing, 4.86 million kwacha traded, and Airtel contributed 3.48 million. So between Zambia Sugar, Airtel, and CEC, they accounted for 89.3% of total shares traded. Our newest member to the family, Clapton Re, also recorded 1.86 million shares traded. And we also had the dollar-denominated market also woke up. There was a substantial transaction that was done. This is Real Estate Investment Zambia trading in USD. And the sharp increase reflects the significant block transaction that happened during this counter. So price movements during the week as well. There was mostly negative trading. So the decliners outweighed the gainers. But as far as the gainers, we had CEC Africa gaining by 2.74%. .com Zambia also gained by 2.06%. Standard Chartered gained by 0.79%. And Zambia Sugar also recorded a marginal gain of 0.67%. On our decliners, we had Zanaco, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Everybody seemed to be a little bit shaken by that, but worry not. It declined by 0.62%. We had British American Tobacco, also with a slight decline. Puma also declined by 1.01%. CEC declined by 1.04%. Zambif by 1.96%. Africa Explosives, 2.17%, Airtel by 2.31%, and Chilanga Cement by 2.43%, with ZCCM recording the largest drop at 6.25%.
Wow.
So overall, even though it seems like there were quite a lot of decliners, the market reflected elevated trading activity and significantly higher turnover. So despite the strong activity levels, we did see small decline in our All-Share Index, and there was a predominance of negative price movements. But this basically suggests that investors are becoming a little bit more cautious and they're being selective in what tickers they're picking. And that was the week, last week.
Wow. I mean, I don't know if I should say, disappointed, but at least you've mentioned that a number of trades were, better.
Exactly.
Decliners here and there, but I feel like the most important thing, if people are also, trading, we do see people trading more, even if a number of companies are declining here and there.
Yes.
I mean, it's a way to go. It's still the market.
I mean, that is how the market moves. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Yeah.
Indeed. Well, you mentioned something that people, collected their dividends, right?
Yes.
Maybe once again, how does that work? How do people receive their dividends? I remember sometime back I asked how do people make money if they buy a share, right? So now maybe just another explanation again for a viewer out there who's like, okay, what is buying shares all about?
Yeah.
How can I even buy a share in a certain company? What does it mean if I'm a shareholder? Maybe just start from there.
Okay, so we'll start with how to buy a share. So first of all, you download the LuSE mobile app. So you go in your app store, whether it's Android or iOS, search for LuSE mobile app. You'll be able to download it. Have your NRC ready. You need to capture the front and the back. Take a selfie, upload it. And then I'd say minimum 24 hours, you should have your account activated and you'll be able to trade. You can deposit, so you have to add to your wallet using either Airtel or MTN Money or even your bank account, and you buy your shares. Now, how do you make money? That's where the dividends comes in. So when your company that you invested in has a profit, dividends are basically profit sharing. So we had the AGMs in about March, April, somewhere there. They declared their profits, those who made a profit, and they also declared dividends, which is your share of the profit. So the dividends are paid to your bank account. So please make sure as you're signing up, make sure you have the correct details. Should you have any challenges with your dividends, they're what are called transfer secretaries. They handle all the dividend payments. So if you go to the LuSE website or check out our social media pages, you will see all this information there.
So for the dividend, is it mandate that, when is the dividend really shared? When is the dividend given to the shareholders? Is it maybe every after 6 months, or it depends with the company?
So it really depends on the board declaring a dividend. There are some companies that pay once a year. Others do 2, sometimes even 3 times a year. So it really just depends on how you do your research and see which companies are most consistent. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that insight and highlight. What a confidence booster. What a confidence. Otherwise, Grace, thank you so much for actually coming through today, finally, on a Tuesday.
We're back.
Thank you so much. Otherwise, that was really insightful, and hope to hear more from you next week.
Absolutely.
Indeed. All right, that was the stock market update with Grace and LuSE, and we were just talking about dividends. You've heard that if you buy shares, you can make money in your comfort of your home. Just be a shareholder of great companies that are making money out there. So you can make money. A lot of ways to invest your money. So that is what we were all talking about. But we do come to you every Monday. That we do have the stock market update. But yesterday, of course,